Ladies and gentlemen, what a time it is to be a Phillies fan. Wow. Well, welcome to this episode of the Sports Rate, as always, hosted by me, Intern Cole. But wow, what a run it's been for the Phillies. They have been on fire. Last week, the last time you saw me, the Phillies had just fired Joe Girardi and brought in Rob Thomson. Since then, they have swept the Angels, swept the Brewers, and last night they took game one of a three-game set against the Diamondbacks. And I was at the game last night. The atmosphere is different. The way the team, the attitude of the team, you can just tell is different. Everything is different. And I was big on that. I don't know if firing Joe Girardi is going to make as big of an impact as people think. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. Now, I also said the Phillies were going to turn around last week before this win streak, and they have since. But, you know, you win some, you lose some, and I won one, and I lost one. But overall, what a time. Rob freaking Thomson. 7-0, hasn't lost. He looks to make it 8-0 today against the Diamondbacks in Game 2. Angels fans, Brewers fans, Rob Thomson owns you. Diamondbacks, get ready. Rob Thompson is going to officially own you tonight and officially win the series for the Phillies. I think the Phillies could definitely sweep this series as well. Just breaking down what has worked for the Phillies. First of all, the bats. 21 home runs over this 8 games. 21. Rhys Hoskins hitting 2 home runs last night. Kyle Schwarber, it's June, and he's heating up. Bryce Harper is playing at it better than his MVP season last year. Watching Bryce Harper last night. Bryce Harper, I believe, was 4 for 5. I'm going to double check that. I believe Bryce Harper was 4 for 5 last night, and the only time he got out is when he hit a 407-foot bomb to left center that was at the deepest part of the park, 2 feet away from a home run. Any other time, any other part of the park, that's a home run by a long stretch. But just the bullpen still scares me. I'm not going to lie to you. Bryce Harper was 3 for 4, 3 singles. And you know what? That was probably the down game of his stretch. And here's the crazy part. The Phillies are finding ways to win. That's the best part about this. They are finding ways to win. Whether it's, taking the early lead and holding it, or if you saw in Game 3 of the Angels series, being down 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs and a full count, and Bryce Harper goes yard. Corey Knebel comes in and blows it, and then Bryson Stott hits a walk-off. The Phillies are finding different ways to win. It's not like they're just being world beaters and out there beating up on teams or, winning games like 5-2. They are going out there, they're winning games close. They are, the bullpen like last night, Brad Hand kind of blew it. But you know what? The bats came out. Hoskins hit another home run. Dominguez shut them down. Brogdon shut them down. Knebel goes out there and gets the save. Overall, this Phillies team, just the different energy. They look different than they were a week ago when they had Joe. Words can't describe. This is an amazing feeling right now as a Phillies fan. And they have a very favorable stretch coming up. As you know, they have finished off this 3-game series with the Diamondbacks, where I very well think not only will they win the series, they very well could sweep again. Then we start off next week with the Marlins. The Marlins are always scary. They always give us trouble. Then we got the Nationals. The last place team in the NL East. A team that's basically been nothing but horrible. And here's the best part. Here's one of the great things. It's not like the Phillies are out here sweeping the Nationals or sweeping the Athletics. They are sweeping the Angels, who, I understand they were on a 12-game losing streak, but 2 weeks ago they were one of the better teams in baseball. And the Brewers, who are going to be a playoff team again this year. The Phillies are just finding new ways to win every single day. And that is the part that gets me so excited. That is the part that makes me so happy. It makes me feel so confident in this team heading into what's going to be a very important stretch of the season. The Phillies are now at 500. A week ago, they were 7 games under 500, and they have found their way back to 500, and now they've thrown their hat back in the mix. And you know what sucks? You know what really does suck, though? They don't even have long win streak in baseball. The Braves do. But a week ago, they were 14 games out of first place in the division. They're now 9. A week ago, they were – let me find the wild card standings real quick. A week ago, they were about 6-7 games out of the wild card. They are now 2.5. They are creeping up on the Braves and the Giants. And you know what? The Brewers, who, like I said, a team they just swept. They are right now the second out of 3 wild cards. The Braves and the Giants are tied for third. The Phillies just expanded their lead over the Diamondbacks, who were right behind them, and now they're going to have a shot to keep expanding that lead, and then continue to expand that lead over the team that's behind the Diamondbacks and the Marlins. A lot of things are going right for the Phillies. The bats are the biggest thing, though. The bats were we knew if we were going to be a successful team, if this Phillies team was going to make a run to the postseason, it was going to be courtesy of the bats. And the bats are coming alive. Games we were losing this year, we were losing tight games. I said before the season, a lot of people agreed. If the Phillies can score more than 5 runs a game, the bullpen should and the starting pitching should not have any trouble winning them games. And you know what's been happening? They've been scoring more than 5 runs a game. And even when they're not, Josh Hader, guy, 40 straight saves. He hasn't blown a save. He hasn't given up a run all year. And Alec Bowman, Matt Vierling are hitting bombs off of them for the Phillies to win the game. Everybody is contributing right now. And you don't even have who's probably your second best hitter, maybe even your second best player in Gene Segura. Odubel's hitting the ball well. Didi is hitting the ball well. And we know how I feel about those two. But you know what? They're playing great. Bryson Stott is coming alive. He had, I think, like 6 hits all of the season leading up to this stretch, and he is on fire right now. I think he has 4 home runs in this past week. I know he has 4 home runs in the past week. A guy who had 6 hits through 2 months. Now it's 4 home runs in the last week. But like I said, the thing about baseball is you're going to go through these stretches. You're going to go through these stretches where you look like the worst team in baseball, like we saw from the Phillies the last few weeks. But then you also have these stretches like this past week where you look like world beaters, where you look like you cannot be stopped. So the Phillies just have to ride this win streak with Rob Thomson out, because they're going to lose a game. Let's be honest. They're not going to win every game the rest of the season. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. They're going to drop a game probably here real soon. What they need to do is they need to go out in every series and win 2 out of 3. If you win 2 out of 3 in every series, you will find yourself in the postseason. Do what you can to win 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 4, or 2 out of 4. You got to win series. That's the biggest thing. You got to win series. If you drop a Sunday game or you drop the Friday game and you bounce back and win Saturday and Sunday, that's good. That is very good. So, like, they got to win one of these next 2 against the Diamondbacks. Then they got to win 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. Then a 5-game series against the Nationals. You got to win 3 or 4 of those. And they're going to get this series against the Braves at the end of June is going to be a huge series. It is going to be a big series. It's going to really test the Phillies and see where they are. But their schedule is so favorable over the next few weeks. Diamondbacks, Marlins, Nationals, Rangers. Then you got the Padres. Then you got the Braves and Cardinals. Then you got the Nationals and then the Marlins again to close out July. A lot of things can go the Phillies' way at this point in the season. What the Phillies just need to do is win series. Keep the bats hot. The bats need to stay hot. The bullpen, we've seen Brad Hand. He almost blew it last night. But you know what? That's the difference between Rob Thomson and what we've seen from Joe Girardi. Is Rob Thomson, Brad Hand's struggling. Brad Hand's about to blow it. He's not trying to force Brad Hand out of the inning. He's like, you know what? Sir Anthony, go in there, take care of business, finish out the inning. Then Connor Brogdon comes in, and he pitches solid. He shuts them down the 8th. And Corey Knebel comes in. And thank God doesn't put stress on our hearts and walk the bases loaded, but just gets out of the inning and wins the game. It is a great, great time to be a Phillies fan. So I want to switch over to another Philadelphia sports team, and that would be the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to give you my schedule prediction on how I think the Eagles will do. This is my first schedule prediction of the season on where I think their record will lie and what games I think the Eagles will win. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. There we go. All right. We'll start off Eagles-Lions week 1. If Eagles lose the Lions week 1, don't even get me started. No, in all, I think the Lions made improvement, but I think this should be a very easy win for the Eagles. The Eagles beat the brakes off from last year. The Eagles are far better than they were last year. I think this should be a nice win. Week 2, we get the Vikings at home. Another one that I think the Eagles, these are going to be the games that are big for the Eagles. The teams that are going to be, fighting around the playoff line like the Vikings, they need to make sure they can handle those games and win those games. And I think they will. I think this will be one of the games that Jalen Hurts is tested. This is going to be one of the games where everyone looks at Jalen Hurts and thinks, all right, how are you going to be able to react in the big moments? How are you going to be able to handle the big games? And this is going to be one of them. Next up, the Eagles travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. This is another game I think the Eagles will win. I think the Eagles have a very favorable start to this season, and I think that's a game that the Eagles will pick up a win. I think Carson Wentz is going to run out of his season. I think Carson Wentz's time as a starting quarterback will expire this season. And I think this is going to be one of the big games that people look at and point to, and I think the Eagles will win. Jaguars travel to Philly. If the Eagles lose to the Jaguars, if the Eagles lose the goddamn Jaguars, all hell is gonna break loose. I'm gonna lose my mind. I will lose my mind. The Jaguars are such an inferior team to 90% of the NFL, but especially the Eagles. The Eagles are. I just know that this is gonna be one of those stupid games where I think the Eagles can lose. But I can't sit here and pick the Eagles to lose to the freaking Jaguars. Week 5, Cardinals, Eagles. This is where I see the Eagles taking their first loss. They're enough to beat everybody. The Eagles they're not the best team in football. The Eagles have a very favorable schedule. You're going to travel into Arizona against a team that is very good in the Cardinals. I believe they get DeAndre Hopkins back that week. Cliff Kingsbury's going to be coaching for his job this season. I don't see the Cardinals losing this one. I do see the Eagles losing. Week 6, Eagles, Cowboys. I think the Eagles are going to split with the Cowboys. I think it's going to be the home teams that win. So I think the Eagles will move into 5-1 heading into the bye. The Eagles got a very favorable schedule heading in. These are going to be chances for the Eagles to pick up momentum and get this team right heading into the bye week, heading into that second half of the season, where even coming out of the bye week, the Eagles are going to have a very favorable schedule. Bye week, week 7. Week 8, Steelers travel to Philly. Listen, I am not picking Mitch Trubisky to win. I am not picking Kenny Tiny Hands Pickett to win. I think the Steelers are going to be down bad this year. I don't think the Steelers are going to be very good. I don't think Mitch Trubisky's that good. I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be all that great. I think Kenny Pickett has a safe floor. I think he's going to be an okay starting quarterback, but I don't even know who's going to start that week, so I'm going to take the Eagles. Eagles then travel to Houston. Are we serious? Are we serious? Davis long-neck, giraffe-looking ass Mills is not beating the Eagles. There is no way that giraffe-looking guy is going to beat the Eagles. I'm sorry if Davis Mills fans are watching. But all in all, the Texans literally have Brandon Cooks and Davis Mills. He played pretty well last year, I guess. So I guess they have Davis Mills and Brandon Cooks, and that is literally it. They have nobody else on that team. There is nobody else on that team that's going to make consistent plays for you. The Eagles have A.J. Brown. They have Devontae Smith. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. They have a running quarterback and a playmaker in Jalen Hurts. Give me the Eagles. Washington heads to Philly. This is a game that I think is going to be a scary game for the Eagles. I think this is a massive trap game, and I think the Eagles get trapped. I do think the Eagles will get trapped there, and I'm going to take the Commanders over the Eagles. I think this is one of the games where the Eagles and our fans are going to be riding high, and we're going to come in, and Washington's going to come into Philly and punch us directly in the mouth. The Giants did last year. We went to New York. When we were on our high horse, the Giants came in and we went into the Giants and they punched us directly in the mouth. Washington has done it before to us, and I think Washington will do it again here. Then the Eagles travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. This is another tough game to pick. I'm going to say this is tough because I think if Matt Ryan plays like older Matt Ryan, the Colts are going to be a very surprising team. And I'm very high on the Colts this season. But I do think the Eagles overall and the Colts are neck and neck team-wise. I'm going to give the edge to the Colts, though, because they're at home. I think the Eagles are going to run into this tough stretch here, and they're going to be a little bumpy. And I think the Colts, another team that gives them that the Eagles come in off of a tough loss, and they try to regroup. They struggle to start the game, then they make a little run at the end, and they just can't get it done. Packers head into Philly. I am taking the Packers. I know they don't have Devontae Adams anymore, but it's Aaron Rodgers. The Packers, I feel like, are going to be in a tight window in their division. They're going to have a lot of tight games, and I think this is where Aaron Rodgers comes in and, quote unquote, grabs the NFC North by the balls again. And I think he starts off by beating the Eagles. Titans, Eagles. I think the Eagles win. I think the Titans are a very weak team. I think the Titans are very overrated by a lot of people heading into this season. So I'm going to take the Titans over the Eagles, or the Eagles over the Titans. I think outside of Derrick Henry, they're very one-dimensional. Ryan Tannehill is not good. They do not have any receivers. The defense is going to be weak, is going to be so-so. Outside of Derrick Henry, they have nothing. And Derrick Henry can beat a team individually. But I think by week 13, I think the Eagles are going to bounce back after dropping 3 in a row. They're going to know they're in a big game and what is going to be a must-win. Giants, Eagles. This is another one where I think I'm very scared of the Giants going out there and punching us directly in the mouth. But I think that the Eagles are a better team than last year, and the Giants are not much better than they were last year. As long as Daniel Jones is the quarterback of the Giants, I am taking the Eagles. Daniel Jones might be the worst quarterback in the NFL. He is horrible. He is terrible. He is not good. The Eagles will win. Week 15, the Bears and the Eagles. Listen, I think this is going to be a lot closer than it should be. I do think the Eagles win. I think the fact it's going to be cold as hell out there, or I guess not really though, very cold out there. I think the Bears are going to give a lot of good teams trouble, but I think overall the talent differential between the Eagles and the Bears, the Eagles prevail over the Bears and win in Week 15. And that puts the Eagles at 10-4 heading into the stretch. Cowboys, Eagles. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I said they're going to split. I think the Cowboys are going to win at home. I'm going to take the home teams to win those games. And I think the Cowboys, at this point, will basically give me a big game for that division title. And I think the Cowboys are going to know that they're going to need to win it, and I think they will. Eagles, Saints. Jalen Hurts owns the Saints. Not even really going to discuss that. The Saints are – listen, the Eagles always take care of the Saints. Jalen Hurts has shown that he will beat the Saints. Those are the teams like the Saints, the pretty good teams, are the teams that Jalen Hurts is going to really need to show up and really show that he's made improvements. And I think he will, again this year, take care of the Saints. And the Eagles close it out against the Giants. Eagles, I feel like, are going to have a lot to play for that week, and I think they will beat the Giants. So my first official Eagles prediction, record prediction of the season is the Eagles go 12-5, going 7-2 at home and 5-3 on the road. Games that I think could go either way. Obviously, Week 10 against Washington, Week 11 against the Colts, and Week 16 against Cowboys, Week 6 against the Cowboys, Week 2 against the Vikings. There's a couple games. So worst case scenario, I feel like the worst case scenario Eagles-wise would be this is what I would say is the worst case scenario for the Eagles. Their quote-unquote floor, in my opinion, is 6-11. I think there's 11 games that the Eagles could lose this season. Ceiling for the Eagles would be no, I just don't. I think the ceiling for the Eagles is at about 13-4, 12-3. Well, no, 14-3. 13-4, 13-4 or 14-3 is about the Eagles' ceiling. But overall, like I said, I have the Eagles going 12-5 or 11-6 on, or no, 12-5 on the season. I think that should be good enough to win the division. I haven't done my overall predictions. I will do that next week. Next week, we'll get my full and entire NFL playoff or NFL predictions for the season. I'll go through every game, all 18 weeks of the season, and I'll even go through and do the playoffs for you guys as well. But that's going to wrap up this episode of the Sports Rig. Rob Thomson is God. He is a god. He literally owns half the MLB. He's going to continue to show you're all going to get Rob Thomson. Bow down to one of the greatest humans to ever live in Rob Thomson. Go Phils. And as we saw, I think the Eagles will have a very successful season. I think Jalen Hurts will prove that he's a starter. Thank you for watching this episode of the Sports Raid. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Peace out.